Funeral services were held today for Ball State's former provost. We'll tell you what the university's president had to say about Robert Morris's impact on campus.
A recount for the 2016 presidential election is set to start in one state. We'll tell you which battleground state is tallying ballots again.
And these are the current wind chills, but we will be seeing some colder temperatures to the end of this week. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to the last week of NewsLink Indiana shows for the semester. I'm Tony Sandlaben.
And I'm Brittany Erman. Thanks for joining us.
Well, the Ball State and Muncie communities came together today to mourn the loss and celebrate the life of former Ball State Provost Robert Morris. NewsLink Indiana's Cameron DeBlasio has more about the impact Morris had on the university.
Friends and family filled the First Presbyterian Church earlier this afternoon as funeral services took place for former Ball State Acting Provost Robert Morris. Morris died last Monday after spending nearly a month in the hospital getting treatment for blood poisoning. He was just 53 years old, and his death came as a shock to many.
It was an emotional day here at the First Presbyterian Church. I tried talking to several people, and many of them were simply at a loss for words, still coming to terms with the kind of a hole that Dr. Morris's death will leave not only here at Ball State, but in the community at large.
Ball State Acting President Terry King said Morris's death is going to be a big void to fill moving forward.
Dr. Morris made a huge impact on Ball State University. He's a graduate of the institution. He went off and get his doctorate, came back. Enormous skill set. I think everybody at the university would say that he had a very positive impact and was a great asset to the institution.
In a statement sent to NewsLink Indiana, John Emmert, acting dean of the Honors College, also expressed how important Dr. Morris was to the faculty at Ball State. He said, quote, "Dr. Morris was a valued colleague and friend. He championed me and my colleagues to do our best for Ball State, and he led by example." President King said while it may be hard to deal with the loss, it is also important to remember the positive impact Dr. Morris had during his life.
Dr. Morris had a fantastic sense of humor. He always put things into perspective, and I think everybody who knew him has certainly appreciated that about him. Plus, his passion for the institution was just unsurpassed. We'll certainly miss him.
In Muncie, Cameron DeBlasio, NewsLink, Indiana.
Morris's family says donations can be made to the Sandra K. and Robert J. Morris Fund through the Ball State University Foundation. Those funds assist incoming students in the fields of chemistry and nursing.
A shocking statistic could make Indiana residents more aware. According to the state government in Indiana, residents are more likely to die from a drug overdose than an automobile accident. Now, this information is laid out in the governor's task force final report, which they met on today. The force is focusing on drug enforcement, treatment, and prevention. According to the report, Indiana is experiencing an unprecedented crisis of substance use disorders, with nearly 10% of adults reporting illicit drug use in the past month and 4.34% reporting non-medical use. In a press release, Governor Mike Pence said, quote, "The final report of the task force shows the progress we have made in coming alongside those who struggle with the grip of addiction and provides a basis for how to address this important issue moving forward." Now, despite Pence's statement, Hoosiers have seen nearly 6 times as many deaths from drug overdose in the past 14 years.
President-elect Donald Trump is continuing his transition to the White House. Trump announced today that he appointed former GOP rival Ben Carson as his head of housing and urban development. Trump also met with climate change advocate Al Gore. The meeting came after Gore met with Trump's daughter Ivanka, who was expected to take a policy role in Trump's administration. The meeting seemed to spark a possible turn in thought. In 2012, Trump tweeted that global warming was created by the Chinese, and in 2014, he called global warming a hoax in several public statements. After the meeting, Al Gore told reporters the meeting was, quote, lengthy and productive, but also said the conversation was to be continued and that he would, quote, leave it at that.
Representative Luke Messer met with President-elect Donald Trump's transition team today to discuss education policy. Messer, who serves on the House Education and Workforce Committee, was discussed as a possible choice to head the Department of Education before Trump chose charter school advocate Betsy DeVos of Michigan. Messer, however, praised Trump's choice and tweeted, quote, "We cannot rest as a nation until every kid gets a chance to attend a great school." Messer was president of School Choice Indiana before taking Vice President-elect Mike Pence's House seat in 2012.
U.S. District Court Judge Mark Goldsmith ordered Michigan's ballots to be recounted. The judge moved for the recount to start as soon as noon today. Michigan is one of 3 states where a recount effort has been led by Jill Stein. The third-party candidate wants to ensure a fair, accurate vote. Michigan State Attorney tweeted his disapproval for the recount. Bill Schuett says the act is inexcusable and filed a lawsuit to stop the process. Stein has raised nearly $7 million to fund the cause, and Stein told CNN she would file a lawsuit for a recount in Pennsylvania this morning.
The death toll for an Oakland, California warehouse fire continues to climb tonight. At least 36 people have been claimed by the fire. Search crews say they still haven't been able to search all areas of the building, and the death is expected to rise. Karen Kaifa reports.
Firefighters with shovels methodically remove debris bucket by bucket, trying to figure out why this warehouse went up in flames.
It just doesn't seem that that's a fire that's survivable. So the reality, I think, for all of us is beginning to set in.
Dozens are confirmed dead, including a teenager and a local deputy's son.
We are no closer to finding a cause, and we absolutely believe that the number of fire fatalities will increase.
This building was known as the Ghost Ship. Many artists illegally lived here, but it had been under investigation for code violations, and police say there is no evidence the warehouse had sprinklers.
Got out the building, and I just saw smoke and then flames coming out the doors and the windows.
Many inside, trapped by the flames. One survivor says he had to leave his friend behind to save his own life.
The fire was just getting too hot, and the smoke was just getting too bad, and I had to leave him there, and I wasn't able to get him out.
It could take weeks to identify those killed. The sheriff's office asking families of potential victims to save hairbrushes and toothbrushes for DNA comparisons.
The scope of this tragedy is tremendous.
Now again, that was Karen Kaifa reporting. Officials still do not know the cause of the fire.
After months of protesting, the Sioux tribe has finally reached a victory. The Army Corps of Engineers announced today it will look for an alternative route for the Dakota Access Pipeline to cross under Lake Oahe in North Dakota. But tribal leaders worry the decision could change with incoming leadership. The lead organizer of the Indigenous Environmental Network said in a statement that he needs supporters to keep up the pressure because their victory isn't guaranteed in the next administration. Members of the Sioux tribe decided to fight the pipeline, saying it could be hazardous and damage the water supply at a nearby reservation. Well, Brittany, I got to tell you, the weather has been very interesting lately. We've seen some nicer days, we've seen some colder days, and today was kind of a mix of both.
You know, I agree, but I have to say I'm ready for some snow flurries or snow of some sort. So, Kaylee, what can you tell us?
Yeah, well, Brittany, we are seeing some cooler temperatures move into the forecast, so we possibly may see some of those snow chances that you're wanting. But currently now in Muncie, 33 degrees, east winds coming at 7 miles per hour. So it feels like 27 degrees here in Muncie, so definitely a little bit chilly. But around the state, current temperatures, 37 here in Indianapolis, 33 in Kokomo, 33 here again in Muncie. Now current radar, we aren't seeing that much happening now. Not many clouds in the area, but that will change as we move into tomorrow. So I will talk about those upcoming rain chances, those colder winter temperatures, and those snow chances that people are wondering about. All that and more coming up.
All right, thank you, Kaylee. The Muncie community found a creative way to raise money for a pretty popular cause.
And we have an update out of West Lafayette. Find out how Purdue students are protesting on campus. Next on NewsLink Indiana.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. A judge declared a mistrial today in the shooting of Walter Scott by a North Carolina police officer. It comes after the jury could not reach a unanimous verdict. Now, Scott's death was filmed by a bystander in 2015. The video sparked outrage in what appeared to be another case of police brutality against an unarmed black man. If convicted, Officer Michael Slager could have faced 30 years to life in prison. Scott's mother, Judy Scott, gave an emotional statement after the announcement, saying she quote, knows justice will be served. Slager will face another trial next year on civil rights charges.
The Purdue community held a rally today in response to flyers promoting a white national group. The flyers were spotted on campus late last week. In response to the flyers, Purdue University President Mitch Daniels released a statement saying they are inconsistent with the university's standards. However, protesters want Daniels to denounce white supremacy and fascism. Also, they want to reinstate a chief diversity officer and mandate a course on history of racism and fascism.
With the holidays right around the corner, shopping is on everyone's mind. But what about those who can't afford presents? Well, tonight a holiday creature is making an appearance in downtown Muncie, encouraging locals to make a donation for Toys for Tots or else. NewsLink Indiana's Esther Bauer is live with more.
That's right, Brittany. I am here at the Fickle Peach in downtown Muncie, and while it looks to be a pretty normal night, I'm greeted by quite the unfamiliar guest.
Mission really is just to make sure every kid in Delaware County has toys. I'd like to think that happens. I don't know, but like I said, it's for us. It's just about the kids, really. That's why we're all here. That's the reason why the community we live in that they donate, whether if it's they donate used toys or new toys or money. You know, we're all trying to come together as a community to make sure the children in our community have presents to wake up to, because the last thing we want to see is a kid not have presents to wake up to in the morning. So.
I don't know what that means. Okay, so go ahead and tell me what you are doing here tonight.
Punishing the naughty people of downtown Muncie.
And why are you doing that?
We're collecting toys for Muncie firefighters, Toys for Tots. Those who donate will St. Nick. Who do not are taking their lives into their own hands.
Alrighty, Krampus. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of this journey to chat with us, and I hope that you get a lot of donations tonight. Alrighty, so as you can see, this was such a fun event that it meant so much more. So make sure to come on down and make a donation. Live in
All right, thanks, Esther. And Toys for Tots accepts donations year-round and is always looking for volunteers. For more information, check out their Facebook page at Muncie Firefighters Toys for Tots.
All right, guys, and coming up on weather, we'll be talking about a little bit of a cool down. Right now, temperatures in the mid-30s, but we will be expecting a cool down. All that and more coming up.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. So Tony, we are finally in the month of December, and I have to say it doesn't feel like it because there's no snow.
Well, it seems like it snowed everywhere around us. You know, it snowed in Michigan, it snowed in Wisconsin, it snowed in Illinois. We got nothing but rain and clouds here. Kaylee, give us some good news. Are we going to get into that, white Christmas, anything like that coming up soon?
Well, hopefully we'll get a white Christmas, but right now we can't really tell. But again, the ground is just way too warm here in Indiana for any of that snow to fall or stick on the ground. But currently here in Muncie, 33 degrees, feels like 27 degrees, so definitely pretty chilly out there. As you go through tonight, we see 34 at 10 p.m., 35 at 1, and 36 degrees at 4 a.m. Now, current wind chills across our area, we see feels like 28 degrees in Newcastle, 27 here in Muncie and in Marion, and as well in Anderson. So definitely want to bundle up if you're headed out anywhere tonight or tomorrow morning. But for tonight, we expect a low of 34 degrees with a possible chance of a few flurries and some rain chances, as we do see those rain chances move into tomorrow. But for today, our almanac, we did reach a high of 43 degrees, about on average around 42 degrees. And then for our low, we're reaching that low of 34 degrees, normally on average around 25 degrees, so still a little bit above average for that low. But as we look at forecasted wind chills for tomorrow morning, again, still pretty chilly. 27 feels like here in Muncie, 28 in Anderson, and 30 feels like in Indianapolis. But as we move through, it will feel more like the mid-30s. So for tomorrow, we're expecting a high of 41 degrees, and it will be one of those last 40-degree days for this week with those rain chances. A little bit higher winds out of the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. Now, with wind gusts, we are seeing these as these rain chances do move through. This is Tuesday at 8 a.m. when these rain chances start to move through. We see 11-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in Muncie and Portland, and 12 up in Marion. But as we move through, this storm does roll through, and we do see a lot higher wind gusts. So 18-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in Muncie, 16 in Anderson, 19 in Marion, 18 in Kokomo. So definitely be aware of that tomorrow. But as we move through tomorrow evening and into Wednesday, those winds will damper down to around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now for rain chances, we're clear right now. You can see just a few little clouds, but we will be seeing a change for tomorrow. We see these rain chances move in. This is 11 a.m. around lunchtime. So again, most cloud cover, but again, rain here in Muncie. Moving through though, we will have rain moving out of the forecast, but clouds sticking around for the afternoon. But as we move through the evening hours into Wednesday, we will be seeing not that much cloud cover. Now rain, we won't be expecting too much going on with our rain accumulation, but look at that 7-day forecast. We see Tuesday and Wednesday, our last few warm days, those cold temperatures move in, only highs in the upper 20s for Thursday and Friday. And look at those lows, those are in the teens. So definitely going to be very cold. And we see those snow chances there for you, Brittany, at the beginning of next week.
So I guess it might possibly be looking a little bit like Christmas.
Yes.
Definitely feeling
Definitely feeling like it.
I don't know. You about cold weather, Brittany?
I don't know. You know, I like the warm weather, but I'll take the snow if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, you know, hopefully we'll get a little bit of both, I guess. Well, thank you very much, Kaylee. Ben, what do we got coming up in sports?
Well, the men's basketball team had a very rough loss on Saturday against IUPUI. However, the women's basketball team got a big win against Butler yesterday. Find out what head coach Brady Sallee says what this win means to the program after the break.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Good evening. The Ball State women's basketball team earned perhaps its biggest win of the year yesterday against Butler. The Cards left Indianapolis with a convincing 74-50 win to give them a satisfying win over an in-state rival and momentum heading into Thursday's game against Purdue. After leading by 5 into halftime, Ball State blew the game wide open in the second half thanks to its defense. The Cardinals held Butler just to 8 points in the fourth quarter, along with forcing 28 turnovers in the game. With Ball State's next contest coming against Big Ten foe Purdue, head coach Brady Sallee knows his team doesn't have much time to celebrate yesterday's win.
Well, and you know, even you start with this one tonight, you know, in-state rival, Ball State Butler. You know, most everybody that goes to both schools knows about each other, knows plenty of people that go. So there's a lot of pride in this kind of game. You know, we recruited a lot of those kids. They recruited a lot of our kids. You know, so it starts with that one. But yeah, I mean, this is a big week for us. You turn around after beating Butler, you got to come down off that high, and you got to get ready for Purdue, and they'll get our attention. There's no doubt about it.
That game against Purdue will tip off at 7 on Thursday in Worthen Arena. Meanwhile, the men's team is off to a slower start this season. Saturday's loss to IUPUI dropped Ball State's record to 4-4 on the year. However, there's no time for the Cardinals to hang their heads on the loss, as they'll be back in action tomorrow night. The Bradley Braves will come into Worthen Arena in a rematch of last year's season opener. While the Braves beat the Cardinals in that game, they went on just to win 4 games for the rest of the season. However, this year, the much-improved Bradley team has already matched their 4 wins from last season. Coming off the loss to IUPUI, Ball State head coach James Whitford knows his team still has a long way to go this year, but he believes the team can get where they still want to go.
There's no panic in our locker room. You know, we're off to a slow start, slower than we would have wanted to, but it's a long season. We have a lot of time to get better. We just have to make sure that our work ethic and our process is in the right place, and I'm confident the problems we have we can solve. I think December is a critical month for us. You know, we have a regular cycle here, and we're not going to have another month like this the rest of the year where we're here every day and have a chance to really practice, build, and get better. And so I think the whole homestand is important. I think the whole month is important for us to not only win games and feel good about ourselves, but even more important than that, if we win some games because we're better than some teams, but we don't really improve as a program, and we're going to get called out in January. We have to get better.
Finally tonight, the Indianapolis Colts are on the road for Monday Night Football, taking on the New York Jets. A win tonight puts the Horseshoe in control of its own destiny in the AFC South for the rest of the season. As of 3 minutes left in the first quarter, the Colts hold on to an early 14-0 lead over the Jets. Andrew Luck has thrown 2 touchdown passes, both to tight end Dwayne Allen. Meanwhile, the Colts defense has limited the Jets offense to 29 yards. And guys, obviously, while it's early in the game, if the Colts do hold on to win tonight, their record will go to 6-6, and they will be tied for first place in the AFC South with the Texans and the Titans.
I got to say, Ben, I'm excited the Colts are doing well as a Colts fan, but I got Matt Forte on my fantasy team. He's 15 yards. That's not helping anybody.
I do too, but you know what? It's early on in the game, but hopefully the Colts will be able to pull this one out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Ben. Coming up next, find out who is set to host the 2017 Oscars.
And Selena Quintanilla's father is putting a halt to a new TV show. Now your entertainment news is next.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
To NewsLink Indiana, I'm Sheila Angus with your entertainment news. Forbes reporting that Selena Quintanilla's father is attempting to stop production on a TV show about his late daughter's life. Selena was a very well-known Latin American singer who was tragically murdered at a young age. Selena's widower, Chris Perez, came out with a book about the couple's life and using that as an inspiration for the show. In a newly filed legal document, Quintanilla's father claimed that Selena's estate owns sole rights of her image and her name. It also indicated that the estate did not agree to the production of the show. It's official. Jimmy Kimmel has been announced as the host for the 2017 Oscars. This will be the first time Kimmel has the honor of hosting the Oscars. However, this by no means is the first time he has taken on an award show. He received extremely positive reviews for his work on the 2016 Emmy Awards, as well as the American Music Awards. He sent out a tweet thanking the Academy and teasing that the announcement was not a prank. Nominees will be announced January 24th, and the Academy Awards will air on the 26th of February on ABC. That's all for your entertainment news. Back to you at the desk.
All right, thanks, Sheila. Now let's take one last look at weather.
Yeah, guys, you know, it's going to be a little bit warmer today, but you do see that cold front move in later this week, and we will be seeing lots of cooler temperatures, highs in the upper 20s and lows in the teens. So definitely be aware of that. Make sure to bring out your winter jacket.
All right, so I have to wait till Monday for the snow.
Yes, you have to wait till Monday for the snow.
All right, I'll take it. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.